I'm going a little off program here because there's something I feel like needs to be said before we start our service. Perhaps some of you are like me and you come here with a heavy heart after hearing the news of some of the recent tragedies in our nation. And as we light the Advent candle, which is the symbols of light in the midst of darkness, I can't help but be struck by that image. As Christians, we are now celebrating the season of Advent, which is a time of already and not yet. It's the time where we celebrate that Christ has already come into the world to bring peace and joy and love. And we also know that we are not yet at that time when we can say, "Thy kingdom has come," in fullness. That there are some parts of our world that have received Christ's peace, and there are still parts of our world that need it and long for it. Jesus shines as a light in the darkness. Our hope, our faith, and our belief is that one day that light will completely overcome the darkness altogether, but that has not happened yet. That will come in the fullness of time, when Christ comes again in glory and lives out the fullness of his ministry. And so now we're stuck in this in-between time where there is darkness and light. And so perhaps as a mom, this struck me especially deeply. It struck all of us especially deeply because we're people and we have hearts. But what I want you to know, that whatever tragedies, I'm trying to speak a little bit on the top here because there's little kids. Whatever tragedy is happening in our nation, in Colorado, or in those Amish schoolhouses, or in Connecticut, or in the movie theaters, that is not God's will. God does not make those things happen. And you're going to hear some pretty lousy theology out there. So I wanted to take a minute to try to get it straight. That is not God's will. God is not a terrorist. There are things in this world that need to change, but God does not do it through those means. People have free will, and sometimes they use that for beautiful, wonderful things, and sometimes they use it for horrible things. We've been given free will. If we want to know where God is in the midst of this tragedy, we begin to look at the helpers. We begin to look at the people who sacrifice themselves. We begin to look at the people who are giving of their time, of their prayers, of their heart, of their tears to care for people in need. We begin to look for the moments of grace, which is how God moves through those situations. We don't have a chess maker God who plays chess and orders every move. People have free will, but God's working in that scene to bring grace through people. We are all going to sort this out in our own way. Some people are going to be glued to the TV because their heart needs to hear every piece of news. Some people are going to stay ignorant because their heart can't handle all that news. Some people among us are prophets, and they're trying to tell us a word that they need, that our society needs to hear during this time. Some of them are saying, we need more guns in our society. And some of them are saying, we need more laws about gun control. And some people are saying, stop talking about guns. But they're processing it in their own way. They're prophets who are trying to speak a word to the injustice that's in our world. So let's be gentle with each other. Let's be gentle with the people who are crying and obsessing because that's what their heart needs to do. Let's be gentle with the people who are turning a blind eye because that's what they need to do to protect themselves. Let's be patient with the people who have some kind of prophetic voice on whatever side to bring to the argument. And let us, in this time of Advent, which is a time of light shining in darkness, let us look for the grace and the beauty that is there.